Welcome to Tales and Tea, a podcast where we brew up the best books and shows that spark your imagination.
I'm Liz.
I'm Lindsay.
Grab your favorite cup of tea and settle in as we dive into the stories that captivate us. Good morning. Beautiful. What's mine say? Mine says...
Oh dear, we're not going to be able to read that. Stop, smile, breathe. Life is beautiful. I love it. We both have beautiful themed mugs. We've got the tails. Oh, you want to see the tail that I just got?
What? Yay!
Came in the mail today. So, I'm finishing... I'm currently reading the Hunger Games book. Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
The new one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm reading that one. So as soon as I'm done, I'm jumping back into this one.
Did you see the movie?
I did not. Don't spoil it for me. I did not see the movie.
Okay.
I wanted to read it first.
That's the next thing, right?
Yeah. Let's get started. So we're going to pick back up with Throne of Glass, where we were kind of working through it. We had originally planned on going chapter by chapter. Yeah, that plan's out the window.
That's not gonna happen. We're too wishy-washy.
We're too scatterbrained for that. And we're not organized enough in our thought process. But we have a couple things that we didn't touch on last time that we did want to touch on today.
And it kind of like finishes out.
I feel like it's a good wrap-up of the book. Yeah, I agree. So, all right. Do you want to ask the first question?
What did you think about the king? Because he's a character we didn't get to last time.
Yes, yeah. The king really confused me. And while he is like this kind of overarching character, they talk about him a lot. They reference him a lot. They make a lot of comments about him. But we only see him at the very, very beginning. And then, at the very, very end. He just, is gone for the whole time.
He's not there.
He's not there. He's not at all. And so,
but his presence is.
Exactly.
There's always a threat of the king.
He kind of feels like this looming, lingering, impending something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not... there's
like a force.
Yes, yeah. Almost.
To be reckoned with.
Exactly. Unseen, kind of just acting in the background, that type of thing. That was what I got. Those were my vibes. But also his personality, he is pompous. He is very pompous. He's just kind of I am the conqueror. I am the king. He seems a little obsessed with conquering, too. He's not content to just rule what he has right now. And it kind of makes me wonder if he's a bad ruler and a good conqueror. Do you know what I'm saying? He's not a very good steward of what he currently has. He's kind of neglecting his current kingdom and focusing on conquering. And that kind of...
There's not much left to conquer right now.
That's exactly my point. He's obsessed with Eelway for what? There's nothing left.
There is a possessive quality about him, though.
Yes, very possessive. And I think you can draw comparisons between... Remember we talked about in the last episode, the metaphor of the castle?
Yeah.
He is the embodiment of that metaphor. He is stomping on top of what was to build the ugliest thing that he thinks is pretty.
Ugh.
That's what he's doing. That's my impression of him. And he doesn't care who he steps on to get there. He doesn't care who gets hurt in the process, who dies. He's Lord Farquaad. He's Lord Farquaad. So many of you may die, but that is a risk I am willing to take.
Everyone cheers. Yay!
Yeah, except he's not funny. He's literally so serious. And he can't take a joke. He's so serious. Which I think lends itself to his harsh, conquering nature, which is what he's supposed to be perceived as in the book. Yep. Oh, I did write one thing that I didn't get to say last time while we were talking. Was Selena getting her period back. was, first of all, the most relatable thing ever. And second of all, I was just like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, dear author.
This is realistic. They have bodily functions in this story.
Thank you. Like, do you know, like, when we were reading Fourth Wing, I'm thinking to myself, how are these women riding these dragons when they have their cycles? Like, what are they doing? I'm so confused.
It's like any active people, but they're not that active. They just sit in classrooms all day, to be honest. And they ride, which is more sitting.
And then they work out a lot and, like, fight.
But not, like, crazy.
I know. Not a lot. And not until, like, later on in the books, then it gets more crazy. But, it's just so weird to me because it's like, what? Also, I was curious. It's never addressed in Fourth Wing. This is so rabbit holey right now, so I may take it out if it's like too far gone.
But, yeah, well, let's hear it though.
All these young people, 20 years older, 20 to 23 years old, are all in this place, right?
Yeah.
And they're all getting it on. What kind of birth control is there in this world? Like, there's no babies in the college.
They talk about that in a lot of books.
They do.
A Fourth Wing, it's just a mystery.
We have no idea how these people are not getting pregnant all the time.
The people that know about runes are going around like,
this is the rune to prevent pregnancy. It's like, what?
They'll never know.
All right. And then I thought, like, is there something that they give them to take while they're in the college? Because I know it says that if they go through the college, they address it in the beginning of Fourth Wing, if they go through the war college, they can get married faster. Did you watch the reel I sent you about Dylan?
Jeez, there's so many.
I know.
Probably. Half of the time, I have to watch them with the sound off because I'm at work.
Sorry.
And then I forget to rewatch them with the sound on because I'm like, oh, well, I watched it.
So it was this guy, and he was saying, do you know who's the worst treated character in all of the Fourth Wing book and the Empyrean series? It's Dylan. Dylan was the first person who was nice to Violet at Bathsgaiath before the parapet. He's the one who says, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend when I'm done. And he dies on the parapet. It literally, the whole book starts out with romantic tragedy.
Yep.
And
is it a foreshadowing?
I don't know. But Dylan says,
not.
When they're having their conversation before they try to cross the parapet, Dylan says, when you go through the Rider's Quadrant, you can get married faster.
That's if you survive.
If you survive, you can get married right away as soon as you're done. So I'm like, are they giving them something to prevent them from getting pregnant and having kids while they're in the college?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways, I appreciated Selena having a period.
That's a whole rabbit hole because of people say that about Hogwarts too.
Yeah.
You have all these teenagers
in this boarding school
with like 10 professors. Over like 300 students. It's ridiculous.
It's kind of crazy. And then they have like the prefects, but those are students themselves.
So true. There are responsible people.
Right.
But like, what are you going to do?
It's not like they have
so many rooms and like hiding places there. Like,
it's not like they have house parents, like a house mother and father that like live with the kids in their house. Yeah, there's not
one adult in the
dorms.
Dormitories.
It's a kid's dream. Paradise.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so before we go on, I wanted to say that I felt that it was necessary to give that a shout out because thank you for representing the fact that they are in fact humans and not just crazy people with no bodily function.
She ain't leaving all the tragedies of real life out.
She sure ain't.
We have to deal with that every time.
Every month, all the time.
Every month.
Okay, next question.
Did we get to the king? And you know what? I like look up fan art.
Yeah.
To see like how other people describe. I never pictured the king with hair. I think he's a bald man. I just picture him bald.
I don't know. I think I pictured him with like short hair. I pictured him like Tywin Lannister. The actor who plays Tywin Lannister.
Okay. No, I pictured him like a beefier, like...
He's a fighter. He's literally conquering nations.
A beefier Stanley Tucci. That's what I pictured him as. Like, I don't know why. Obviously, he has no resemblance to Dorian.
Yeah.
But I think he has hair, but I don't know. I never pictured him with hair.
It's crazy.
Bald just seems, I don't know, more menacing. He just seems menacing.
Yeah.
I feel like a bald guy would be the best option for that.
I don't know. I didn't picture him one way or another. I just pictured him as like this very imposing presence.
And Duke Parrington.
Now Duke Parrington's a fatso. That's what I imagined.
He's creepy.
They literally called his fingers on Caltain's hands chubby sausage fingers. Nasty! Don't be touching her. She's just a baby. She's just a baby. Sausages.
Just the poor Caltain.
Caltain, man, I really didn't like her when I was reading this book, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this poor child.
She dug her grave.
She did,
basically.
though. Those were the... Whoa, look at this. The consequences of my decisions.
Yep.
That's what it feels like.
Her focus is so off.
Yeah. Okay, so when I was writing about Caltain, I wrote, Caltain is misdirected and is a distraction from the contest, from the competition. Because she herself does not even fully understand her purpose.
So true.
Because she's kind of like, I want Dorian. No, I don't want Dorian. I want a crown. And I don't care how I get that. She's
becoming more of greedy. I don't know.
Yeah, she did. But I think it was due to I actually think that that's not really what she wants. And she's being manipulated and like having her wants and desires conflated by the Duke, messing with her head.
Well, something's happening because she gets those pounding headaches so often.
Only when she's around the Duke, though.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's got something to do with his ring. That's what I think. That's my thing. That's my theory. That's my think. That's my theory.
That's my thinking.
That's my thinking theory.
My thinker's thinking.
Yeah, so that's what I think it is.
Oh, I'm trying to
not give anything
go back
away.
To basics. So I'm in awe with you, like going back. Yeah.
So
that's where my theory would lead to.
So that's what I wrote about Caltain. I wrote she's misdirected and she is a distraction. And then I wrote Duke Parrington is using everyone for his own benefit. Or
this Duke, to my opinion, this first Duke has a lot of leeway and sway.
So I wrote he's using everyone around him to his own benefit to better his standing with the king. Or is he using everyone around him to undermine the king and gain his own influence?
Yeah.
Or maybe a combination.
But it could be anything.
He does have a lot of sway on the king.
He definitely has. I think he has more authority than what a normal Duke would have.
And especially like that last scene in the book where the king and the Duke are talking. After Celaena signs the contract.
Yeah.
Is very telling.
It's like they're in cahoots.
I wrote down, and I mean, this is kind of jumping ahead to one of your questions coming later.
Yeah.
But I wrote down here, the Duke and the King arranged the competition to create the perfect champion using the power that Cain was using to absorb the power of all the dead champions. That's my theory.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because
Cain would grow and grow and grow. It's
right.
Creepy.
Exactly. The king could have easily just gone to Celaena, who is, in fact, the best, and just said, come and work for me, I'll give you your freedom. And she would have done it. There was no need for the contest. But
wasn't Cain easier to control though?
that's exactly what I was getting to. But Selena's too unpredictable for the king. And she has a strong sense of justice, even though she was a vigilante assassin. She still has a strong sense of justice. She was turning people down. She was only killing. She said she didn't kill children. She didn't kill. Was it women? I can't remember. She had some rules of who she would not kill.
She had rules.
And the king didn't want that. He wanted someone who was going to follow orders and not ask questions. But he needed someone who would be of great power, and he couldn't find anyone. So I think the Duke came to him. This is my fan theory, okay? Here we go. I think the Duke came to him and said, "We can create the perfect champion for you, but we need sacrifices to use this power to take their individual abilities and apply them all to one person, create the perfect champion. And what we're going to do is we're going to do it under the guise of bringing all these strong criminals who no one's going to care about if they go missing in the palace." Because, yeah, it created a little bit of tension, but even, like, the scared and tension and all that, it's only from the other champions and Selena. Like, Dorian wasn't scared. KL wasn't scared. KL was worried because he was like, what's happening? Why is this going on? What's happening, like, in my palace that I'm in charge of? But the maid was never scared. Nehemia was not really worried. She was just kind of whatever. Cartanin could care less. And the queen never says anything about it. So to me, it feels like it was all arranged in order to create the perfect champion. And Dorian going and getting Selena threw a huge wrench in their plans. Which is why the king threatened her so much at the end.
Yeah.
He saw that she had this relationship with KL, and he is going to manipulate her by using it, by saying, like, I'm going to kill him if you don't listen to me.
Right.
Which is exactly what he says. That's my theory.
They had plans and everything went kaboom.
Yeah, that's my theory. I think the Duke and Cain have those rings, and they have some kind of evil power. And then I had a lot of theories swimming around in my head that I was thinking about. One of them I thought was, did the king ban magic and chase all the fairies down and kill all the fae because he wanted to be the only one who had magic? Because I think it's pretty obvious that he knew about word marks and knew the power of word marks. Because the book says that he had never seen a word mark like the one on Selena's forehead.
Right.
And
do you question how magic disappeared?
Yes, or if it truly did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it could be like...
How do you get rid of that?
I feel like it might be dormant, but not gone.
Did it go away because they killed all the magical creatures?
Exactly. Like, they killed all the people who were wielding it, but it's still there, and it's just whoever can tap into it can have access now. And the king knows that, so he's like, I'm the only one who can have access.
Yeah. That talked about the powers that the Duke and King are using.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah,
what are they doing?
That's kind of like where I got that. That's kind of where I ended up.
Yeah.
With that whole theory at the end.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I agree. I think it's a lot to unravel still, because it's still the first book.
Oh, so early, but those are just my initial impressions and my initial
Everyone calls the first book the most boring.
I don't want to say that it was boring because I really liked the characters, but the plot was lacking. I was just kind of like, in fact, let's go back to the questions. We'll get there. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Where are we? We touched on Parrington's and Caltain's relationship.
Yep.
And how weird that was.
Yep.
I think, they're both using each other. Parrington's just probably a creep.
I just don't think that Cartanin was as aware of being used. Like, the Duke knows. that Cartanin is using
you think
him.
about court life, she was probably like, this is probably the closest person with power that I can get to at this point.
Yep.
To get closer to Dorian.
Yeah, but she was so blinded by her own goals and her own greed that she couldn't even see that she was being set up to be the scapegoat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a sad little revelation right there.
What do you think about Elena appearing to Selena?
She gives me guardian angel vibes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here, I'm going to guide you, I'm going to give you some advice. And
she come to her because she's the only one there?
No, I think it's specifically because of something in her past that we don't know about.
Right. Because what did she tell her to do? To kill the monster.
To hunt the evil that was within the castle.
Yeah, to hunt it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she tells... I loved how the advice that she gave her always had dual meaning.
Yeah.
Where she's like...
It's so vague, but so specific.
Right, like, look to the right, like, the answer is to the right, or something like that. And it ends up being, like, during the poison trial, she looks to her right, because that comes to her mind, and she sees, the youngest... Taylor. Yeah, with the poisons, and he's, like, putting them in order, and she's like, okay. She just copies him.
Then we know your strength. We're gonna use it.
Exactly. And then, like, the pathways in the secret passages, which is like, she got put in the stone part of the castle, and if she had not been put in the stone part of the castle, she never would have found the secret passages.
It's such fate.
It is. Exactly.
Yep.
Destiny.
It's amazing how that happens.
Yeah. It is. Imagine that.
Speaking of the competition.
Yes.
Those were fun. I liked reading those the most.
They were fun, but they started to feel like they were subplot.
Yeah.
Instead of like,
is that really what is happening?
Right. We were so focused on the relationships being built and on the mystery that's taking place in the castle, who's killing the champions, what's going on, all this stuff that they literally canceled like half of them. And
I know. I wish there was more, because I was like, I wanted to see everyone in action, but there's like death after death after death.
Right.
Cancel game.
We just gotta start knocking them off, because there's way too many. Gotta get down to the 4.
There was archery, climbing, poison, and then a lot of them were just canceled.
Yep.
I don't know. Was there any other one?
Just the hand-to-hand combat that I know of.
And I think there was a sword one, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because she really, like, that's when Cain let Selena know who she knew she was Selena.
Yeah.
And that pretending isn't going to help her, because he's going to win this thing, you know?
Right, yeah,
like the mockery.
Mm-hmm. Trying to get in her head.
Her. And then she was like, all right, you know who I am.
So
come get me.
I'm not going to hold back anymore.
Right, yeah.
Yep, no. Yeah, for sure. And I also would have liked more interaction with the other champions. I know she was keeping her distance, and I know why, but even like us as the reader, to like see more interactions, like see Nox talking to somebody, or more things happening with Nox, like Nox and his person who is sponsoring him to be like...
I do kind of get it, because it's kind of like...
Right.
It's a fleeting thing.
Yeah, it is. And I
don't think that... I can tell you this, it doesn't play into anything in the next book.
And I was going to say, they're not important characters. That's the main reason why we don't get a lot from them.
Which I am kind of disappointed, because I'd like to see where Nox went.
Yeah.
After...
Like, he just runs away. Is there just forever now that he's just gone in the wind? He ran away.
Right.
He took her words to heart. I hope he has a family someday and names his daughter Selena.
True.
You know? But it was funny, because it's just like, oh, he's just gone. It's like,
but those competitions, those were kind of fun.
I
like the climbing one the best.
Yeah. It gave me Gauntlet vibes, like an easier version of the Gauntlet.
fourth wing trial.
Yeah, we're gonna test your strength and endurance.
But she still saved. She saved Nox.
Yeah, she did.
That was real. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So then, it kind of goes into going back to Duke Parrington using Cartanin to be the scapegoat by poisoning Selena.
Yep.
Man, I was nervous because I was like, oh dear, how is she going to fight?
I literally was like, what is going to happen? I thought either that I thought Kale would step in and that would be like the decoration of love. Mm-hmm. Or I thought Dorian would step in and that would be his decoration of love, where he's like, you cannot do this. But Dorian just
These characters are so messed up when it comes to love.
I know. But it's like...
But it, like, the character growth, I love it.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. Like, you see a little bit of it because Kale's like, he's trying to respect like the challenge and what's happening, but he's like gets right up to the line and he's like, you have to get up, and he just keeps telling her, get up, get up, get up, get up. And it's like, I was
like, saying it over and over isn't gonna like do anything.
He felt like that's all he could do. It's better than what Dorian did. Stood there and watched.
Dorian, he grows on you.
Well, if he would change his name,
he will grow on. No, he grows into a Dorian. He is Dorian. You can't. It's like Hodor. Dorian.
Hodor, not Hodor.
Hodor. Hold the door.
Oh, man.
Oh, okay.
The word marks, though?
Word marks. What about them?
So I wrote, word marks are the language of the Fae, ? Or are they the language of magic, specifically? Or is it both? Is it the language of the Fae and the magic?
It's a question.
It is a question because it's like every
word
time...
marks still work, though.
Yes. And every time that there's magic present, there's word marks. So far, at least.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was...
I think it's a type of magic.
Maybe a form. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a form.
And there can be different kinds. But I thought Nehemia revealing that she knew what the word marks were and that she knew how to use them and whatever was like, what? I didn't see that coming.
I think it's like a level of trust that they started to gain.
Yeah. And then it was, I laughed out loud when Nehemia was like, do you know how much of a pain it was to come in here and redraw these marks under your bed every night?
These are for your protection. You need to keep erasing them. I felt that. But she was so sick of her.
She was
doing that.
And it was really funny because she just kept saying things like
that's like one more person Selena doesn't notice that comes in at night to draw. Just like you were saying, this girl has no preservation.
She has no self, like nothing. She's totally unaware. She's just la 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 doing her own thing.
Girl likes to sleep. Like, come on.
She does like to sleep, but she's so terrified of the word marks because she doesn't know them. So it was funny because then it turns out that it's Nehemia doing it for her protection, and she's just like, "Oh, sorry about that."
I think it could be used for good and evil, though.
Yeah, I agree. It depends on the intention of the user.
Yeah.
Which is what, like, if...
Because there was word marks around those deaths, around the bodies.
All around the bodies. And why are there word marks around the clock? I want to know. What is the clock? Why is there an ugly clock in the middle of this garden with word marks all around it?
The king has bad sense of style.
Yeah, he does have a bad sense of style. But also, it's ingrained in the stone. So he has to know what it is to have had it put there.
It's supposed to do something.
It's got to be. It's probably like some kind of weapon or something. We're going to find out later.
We have discovered that it is... Word marks are magic.
They are magic.
So what are they doing there? What are they used for?
Are they a weapon? Are they protection? Are they a portal? What is it?
And then Cain was like kneeling down towards them too.
Yep.
So like...
Yeah, when he summoned the Ritterak.
But no, like in the garden when Selena and Nehemia were out there,
I forgot about that.
She was like kneeling down
Yep.
at one of the word marks, and they were questioning, and that's when Selena had like more questions, and Nehemia was like, "Well, I don't know," and then Cain, you know, got up mockingly.
I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, there's clues everywhere.
I felt like Cain did an excellent job of getting in Selena's head, distracting her, and clouding her judgment when it came to him and discovering what he was up to.
I think it was hard to do that though.
Why? She literally saw
Selena
him and wanted to kill him.
is very all over the place.
She literally has anger management problems.
Yeah, like she's riled up too easily.
So easily. I'm sure with maturity and with time that's gonna chill out, but it's just kind of like,
once you read Assassin's Blade, you'll be like, oh yeah, there's even character development there, you know?
Oh no.
Of course. Like before.
Just like real people in real life. As you grow, you change, you mature, and you become a better version of yourself than you used to be.
You live, you learn.
Experience, all those things. So that's totally normal and expected.
She's done a lot of living.
Yeah.
And she's done a lot of learning.
Yeah, and I was like so sad when she was telling the story about her parents.
Oh, remind me of what she said.
She said she climbed into bed with them and it was wet, and she thought it was wet because it was raining and the window was open, but it turned out that it was their blood all over the bed.
Yep. Murdered.
Because they were dead.
Gone.
That's crazy.
Is there anything else you want to say about this book?
Throne of Glass is an excellent introduction book to this world. I'm very excited to read Crown of Midnight and Assassin's Blade and all the rest that come. The litany, the long list.
It gets bigger and bigger. The world.
I can't wait. I'm literally so excited.
I like how she world builds stuff.
Yes.
It's gradual. It's not too much at once.
Yeah. And I like how we hear about a couple places and then those places are reinforced. Like we heard about Eoway.
They stick in your mind. You're like, oh, that's a city.
Right.
That's a continent in the south.
We heard about Eoway. We meet Nehemia. She talks about spending a summer there and learning from an assassin group in the desert and stuff like that. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, so that like gives me a solidified
silent
grasp.
Assassins.
Yes. Yeah. Gives me a solid grasp on that region of the world. And it's like, okay, good, I got it. And
there's a map too at the beginning, so it's not like it's a secret.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't have a map because I had
well, you need to look up
the audiobook, but there might be a map in my Crown of Midnight. Yeah, so that I think wraps up Throne of Glass for us.
It's beautiful book, beautiful series.
Well written. I was pretty happy about it. I was very, very into it from the very beginning.
She started writing this when she was young. So it does mature with her as well as a writer.
I love that. That's really great. So, it's time for What's on My Pad.
What's on my pad? Fantasy, oh, you'll see. A dragon sipping tea by the sea. Castles floating where the stars agree. Imagination running wild and free.
What's on my pad?
What's on my pad? And our Wattpad book that we are currently reading is my sister's book that she's writing right now, The Last Prince of Cartanin.
Check it out.
And we are on chapter 9. What was your first overall impression of this chapter?
What did I think? One word or like a whole sentence?
What
do you want?
Just your initial thoughts.
I just think it was an insightful chapter. And it was like some answers, but it was like very
intense.
Creepy and intense.
Creepy. I feel like our story went from this roller coaster
felt like there was like a kidnapping.
Yep.
At the beginning. We went what are they doing?
We went from a historical political drama about the ups and downs of this royal family to a horror thriller. In one chapter.
Like they're drugging him.
He's seeing things.
They're like, all I
half dead things.
This bottle of sleeping potion to like sleep. You know, like it's creepy.
So creepy. And like
I
the
think it was
way
good though.
it was described when he sees Orpheus for the first time.
It was intense.
It was so gross. I was like,
I didn't picture him with white hair.
Me either.
But I was like, is he old or is it just like...
He's just a seer.
Like, is that...
He's the OG seer.
Just like kind of crazy hair.
So then my question was, did Seth not have the same seer abilities that Marcus is going to have?
No. Because it explains that in the dream.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like...
He's like, I'm going to give you more than any other seer before you.
Yeah, has ever had. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So first question.
Yeah.
What did you think of Marcus's first person sight?
Yeah, what did you think of that?
I felt the weariness and drug.
Yeah.
Infused
Yep.
thought process of this. Like, everything's happening all at once. You're kind of dizzied.
Yeah.
You're like fighting to get free, but then they're shoving this, these potion down your throat.
Right. And I think it was also very necessary to give us more of Marcus's emotion and his feelings and process of what was happening. Because he's having the same vision that he's had in his dreams.
Right.
But it's expanded and extended. And then he gets woken up suddenly.
It was good, though.
By his cousin.
And I'm like, how did they get in? Like, are they keeping him outside in a garden?
In the graveyard, yeah.
In the dead winter.
In the dead of winter, he's chained to the grave of Orpheus. His great uncle. Yeah.
That was wild to me. I was like, they did not drag him out there. But they did. Which makes me go back to the last chapter. It makes me understand why Tanya was like, no, don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And then, like...
And of course he's looking for her.
Right. So...
He was the one sticking up for him.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, she wakes him up from his dream.
Right.
And is like, he's like, where am I? What's going on? And whatever. And she's like, I'm so sorry. And everything. And then she tells him, like, you lie upon the resting place of Orpheus, your great-great-uncle.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah, it's kind of crazy. And then he gets, like, really angry.
A chill that had nothing to do with the cold crawled down Marcus's spine. That's crazy, because it must have been freezing out there. Because they couldn't even get the buggy through with all that snow. And he's out there on a grave of an old dead man.
And, like, they brushed all the snow off the grave, is what it says. So, yeah, it was crazy. I was like, oh, my word. Okay. And so, you
can see his breaking here, too.
You can.
His lips quivered, and a sob broke free.
Yep. And so what did you think of the interaction when his uncle and his grandfather come back? And they find Tiana and they take her away.
I think it was harsh. Where's the warm side of them?
That was literally at the dinner table. Like, what happened? Yeah.
She's like, stop, you're hurting him. And then he's like, this must be done.
Yep. Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Duke Syrian.
So that is the grandfather.
Yeah.
That's his first name.
Yeah. And he remained unmoved. You lie upon the grave of our ancestral power. And then, obviously, he knew who Orpheus was, because Marcus was like, the spider?
Yeah.
So, and... Ew. The way his grandfather was like, you owe him many thanks.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What is this power?
And he's like, I don't want it. It's a curse. Don't give it to me.
So.
And then they give him more sleeping.
They're kind of forcing it on him, to be honest. They're like, this is your destiny. Yep. Get on with it.
Yeah. And then they have to, like, drug him again so that he'll sleep.
Yeah, because you have to sleep to come into your power.
And that's where the nightmare truly begins.
Yeah. Yep.
Next question.
So he's passing out.
Yeah.
I
tomorrow
think you will be a seer.
That's so eerie. He's like, sleep.
That's so exciting.
Tomorrow you will be a seer. It's like, what?
I don't think the Duke knew what he was gonna wake up to.
I don't think
so.
so.
But that's later.
Yeah. So then we cut to Elwyn, Lana in the Lone Isles after they've been attacked.
I like the interview of Elwyn.
Yeah.
Because you keep calling her an airhead, and I just think she's just sheltered. I
also think she's more perceptive than I've been giving her credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Because this scene alone...
Yeah.
This scene alone with her and her sister looking out, they're looking out the window, the village is on fire from the pirates.
Right. Yeah. Trying to put out the...
And her first thought is, I didn't think I'd have to have my children live in a place like this.
Yeah. And her voice is thick with sorrow, so...
Yeah.
She understands how much of a tragedy this is.
Now, I know because it's a solemn scene because of what's happening, but did you feel like there was a shift in the attitude between the sisters? Lana,
I don't know.
Lana tells her, like, I'm going...
what attitude there was before.
She was like, I'm gonna come help you unpack, and like, da-da-da, like all this, and then this, she's like, just nods and says nothing.
Yeah.
But I think it fits to be with the tone of the scene because of what's just happened, but at the same time, it's kind of like, ooh. But what did you think of their of Jack's admission that they had? Like, because they asked him.
Pirates.
Yeah, he's pirates. And then Lana goes, or Elwyn asks, do you know pirates? And he's like, yeah. And then it's almost like Elwyn, in her bubble-headedness, is like, so we can reason with them because you know them. And he goes, no, you can't. They're not honorable people.
There is no reasoning. No one knows how they will react.
Yeah, they're not honorable people. They will tell you one thing and they'll do something else and stab you in the back.
Uncle Jack's name is such a pirate name.
Jack. Yeah.
Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow.
Dun, 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 dun.
So I was curious about this. Does Jack seem like he has the propensity to be a double agent?
I think Jack is eyes and ears of everyone.
I think Jack is out for Jack, and he's going to do whatever it takes to make his life better.
But what is Jack want?
That's the thing. We don't know. It's so...
What is Jack helping Jack get that Jack wants?
Yeah, like, what was the purpose of him chasing after the sword guy? You know?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was interesting that he was like, yeah, I know them, or whatever. Like, I know pirates. And then Lana chases after him, and she asks him if the guy from the brothel was a pirate.
Ooh,
and he was. We were right.
We were right.
We were right.
It was the earring.
It was the earring and his Fabio flocks.
It was
flocks of hair.
It was totally the earring.
Yes. So I want to see the boat now. In the next chapter, I want to be on a pirate boat, and I want to see Fabio leading his people.
Yeah, I want pirate.
Bring on the pirates.
I agree. I want to see it. That would be exciting. I want to see funny, hysterical pirates, kind of drunk and giddy with their plunder. To see what's next for them.
I want to know the intentions of the stranger from the brothel.
I want to see like a pirate crew. Like, what is their deal? What?
Yep. Like, why are they pillaging the islands so frequently?
Where are they from? Are they from the islands? Why would they do this to their own home? And if they're not, where are they from?
I don't know.
What are they there for? What do they want to gain?
And how weird is it that Jack is like, yeah, your dad sent me here to make sure that the Duke wasn't lying about the pirates.
Right.
And he's like, now I'm going to send for help.
So the king didn't believe him.
I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Is the Duke setting this up? with the pirates to get the king to
The
come?
castle didn't burn. It was just part of the village.
See?
Was that because they repelled them, or was that because...
I wouldn't put it above Duke Saber. I think he's like working with the pirates to get the king's
army to be in the islands, or the navy at least,
to leave other places exposed. Right?
Yep, that makes sense.
That would be a war move.
It'd be a war move, because then there would be no reinforcements to send to the north, where the Tsar is.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's where my mind is going. But I would love to see some pirates.
Me too. Okay, what did you think of Duke Williamson and his wife's conversation? Because after Lana chases after Jack and he confirms that the guy in the brothel was a pirate, we cut to Fagin and his wife.
They talked a lot and got nowhere.
Yep. But I think it was insightful at the same time.
It was, but like... I still think it showed like Fagin still doesn't really know.
Also, I don't think he trusts his wife fully.
Yeah. Why would he tell her where he's...
Right.
Probably because of the connection she had.
With her brother.
Mm-hmm.
Because
isn't her brother married to...
the Kent.
I don't even
the
know.
Kent. One of the Kents.
And the Kents are married.
Are about to marry Jack. Jack's about to marry Jade Kent. Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. Does he want to align himself with Saber, or does he not? Like,
I don't know. Actually, isn't Samantha a Kent? Yeah, she's a Kent.
I don't remember.
I think she's a Kent, and she married him, and then...
I need a refresher.
Her niece. It's her niece who's marrying Jack.
Yeah.
So she has an interest in the king not having problems or a rebellion for her family's sake. But at the same time, okay, she's in a rock and a hard place, because if something happens and Fagin loses favor or loses his dukedom, then her kids are in a precarious situation. She's got daughters who need married off.
Yep.
What's going to happen to Carver?
But you see here, she's going to align with her husband.
Yeah.
She's like, how do I know where to stand if you won't tell me where to stand?
Yeah, but
I want to stand by you, you know?
And I also feel like if Fagin told her, like, hey, don't tell your brother, but this is what we're doing, she wouldn't tell him.
I don't know.
Or do
I'm still getting a read on her.
Do you feel like she has double agent vibes as well?
Yeah.
She could be a double agent.
She's a woman. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
We are the spies.
Are
you kidding?
She literally is in her bed, on her knees, begging him to tell her.
She seems kind of like Samson and Delilah. Tell me your secret.
Yep.
I won't tell anyone.
Yep.
There's no,
that's
not
the
vibe
vibe
I'm getting
anybody.
from her.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, is she genuine or is she not?
Because I could see how she could have a vested interest of this going either way.
Yeah.
She needs her kids.
Fagin isn't like setting clear boundaries either, which can be confusing.
He's not saying I am.
Because he's not like, well, Carver shouldn't marry her because of this. He's like, well, he can do what he wants, you know?
Carver,
I'm not going to stop him.
Carver and his fake love. No, thank you, Carver. You're not in love with Charlotte. You're not.
We don't even see them together.
Just supposedly they're in love because he saw her one time.
I don't think Charlotte's in love. She's just like, yeah, I guess that's me, you know?
My brother sent me here to marry you and secure the alliance so you'll join the war and the rebellion.
So is Carver gonna, like, win her over? Are we gonna see, like, Carver swooning?
I don't know. I kind of ship Carver and Lana. I want Carver to go rescue Lana. But I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know. I want Lana with a pirate.
Yeah, I know, me too. I kind of think Fabio is going to go rescue Lana.
I think Lana's going to turn into a
pirate queen.
She has trauma now, so I feel like she's going to turn into a
pirate queen.
Pretty cool, like, fighter lady.
Yeah, she's going to be like...
She's gonna be the next Otterland's assassin.
I was just about to say she's gonna be Selena.
She's got blonde hair. It's a start.
It's a start. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's funny. Yeah, but
I think she could I feel like the pirates will teach her to fight and stuff.
yep.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Lana the Pirate Queen
Yeah.
ruling the islands.
That would be so cool. Actually, I'm so down for this.
Yes.
Okay. So the next
Will
one.
she be independent? Will she even have a? She'll have flings.
Yeah. She won't have a guy.
She's been tied down. She don't want to be.
Nope.
Nope.
All right.
I don't know. We can speculate. We never know.
We will only read and know then. So what do you think of Orpheus, who we see for the first time when we go back to Marcus's dream?
Creepy.
He's so creepy.
A man, but not a man.
Yep.
His hair was white as bone. Ugh.
Ugh.
His eyes a searing, unnatural blue. That's kind of pretty.
That burned like ghost fire.
Ghost fire. So I picture them kind of glowing.
Yeah.
because of
I
that.
picture them like Jinwoo's eyes from Solo Leveling.
Yeah. That's exactly how I pictured him. And his hands, blackened and decayed.
Ugh.
Their fingers stretched like withered roots.
Yep.
Dragging against the ground and sinking into the earth itself. Ooh, I love that writing.
It's like
so good.
horror movie-esque vibes.
Right. I feel like I'm being haunted by this.
It kind of reminds me of like a Reaper type person, like a Spectre. Yeah, kind of like that.
And you kind of see how scared Marcus is.
He's
Who are you?
terrified. who are you?
The voice barely escaped his throat. Who are you? His rotting hand wrapped around his body. Ugh. I'm gagging. I can't.
Yep.
It's so gross.
And then he's just like, I am the giver you seek. It was so...
How old is this Orpheus guy? How long has he been in this dream world waiting for...
man, he's old.
Because he's like, I've been waiting for you.
Yep.
But it is I who's been seeking you. Like, how long were you, like...
Yep.
Searching?
He goes, I don't want what you want to give me. He goes, doesn't matter. You're gonna be...
I don't want your burden. This is his wimpy side still coming out.
Yeah, and it's literally physically being crushed.
Like his suffocating.
Mm-hmm.
His ribs groaned under pressure. Ugh.
Yep.
It's just ugh.
A sickening crack
Really
ran
good
out.
depictions, Alyssa. I liked.
Yeah. It was
this.
very
like,
descriptive
I felt
writing.
How creepy, and how like it gives you that chill.
Can you see? Know? Okay, I don't know if you've ever read a Stephen King book.
I've heard of them.
She's read Stephen King, so I feel like that's where this is coming from.
It's brilliant.
It is. It's fabulous writing. Yep. It's like the sickening crack rang out as his fingers clenched. Agony exploded through my body, white hot and unbearable.
Yeah.
It's like I screamed from the horrible pain.
Yep. And then the vision shattered like smoke in the wind. It vanished, leaving only the hollow echo
of my screams in the void.
Of my own screams in the void. Holy rip.
Fabulous.
I love it.
Yeah. And then
you
he wakes
felt all
up.
the tension. You felt the fear.
Yep.
You feel the suffocation.
The transformation.
You feel his crushing.
Yep. You feel it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can see it all happening in your head.
Yeah.
Yep.
This creepy guy. I wish is all his body like blackened and decayed, or just his hands?
Just his hands.
I'm picturing his whole. I'm picturing Granny from Dan to Dan. How her skin looks.
Turbo Granny.
Yeah. I'm picturing her, but like creepier.
Yep.
Even though Turbo Granny is creepy.
Yeah. Okay.
But like way worse, like more horror like.
Then when he wakes up, what happens next is even more chilling and disgusting than what just happened.
He's actually like coming up from the grave.
He is. He's literally being reborn as a seer.
Ugh. Blood poured from the flesh wounds.
Ew. Pooling in the dirt as hands burrowed deeper. Their touch like ice and fire all at once as he thrashed, his body racked with pain beyond anything he had ever known.
Yeah. The power of Orpheus took root. I like that.
I like the wording.
It took root because you picture the roots, like winding their way in. You're gonna try to pull like a weed out and you can't. Like it's in there.
It's rooted.
It's there.
Yep.
To the very bottom.
And it says that it took root, threading through his bones like a parasite. Ew.
It's like Monsters Within.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
People like look in the brains and there's like this parasite there. It's disgusting.
And then this is how this little section of it ends. He convulsed beneath the cold sky, his cries swallowed by the night, the strongest gift he could receive. Oh. Yeah. It's so powerful.
Yes, it is. And then his grandfather is like, what the heck is that? You left that man out in the cold to face Orpheus alone.
Like, what did you think was going to happen?
Okay, what gets me is Marcus's mother like, he will help you become what you need to be.
Yeah, his help is like to leave you.
As he's being chained up, the grandfather's inside sleeping, and he hears a scream, and he's like, I wonder what that could be. Let's go look. You know?
Okay.
Let's not get anyone else. Let's just go out there alone.
If nothing else, that confirms to me that Helena is not a seer because she wouldn't have used that terminology.
That's so true. Maybe it only like passed to like the
men.
The men.
Maybe.
But like a grouse slithered through the darkness. Yeah.
Guttural and human.
Woo!
Okay, now what do you think? This is
like a horror movie.
I told you.
I was scared reading this. I had to turn the lights on.
I told you we were in this political drama up and down to this family, what's happening to them, and then we take a left turn into Creepyville, and here we are.
Yep.
And I'm like, we are lost.
At first, when she kept saying seer in the book, I was like, okay, we're gonna get like something like Bran, you know, the three-eyed Raven. No,
way worse, way creepier.
This guy is. Well, it kind of shows you how dark that magic was,
and why it's illegal now.
Why it's illegal? Why is it illegal? Because it's freaky.
Because to get those powers, you have to do this blood ritual, basically. Okay, what do you think of the description that we have here when Marcus steps out?
You know what gets me is his grandfather didn't say Marcus. He said
Orpheus, because they look the same now.
Has his grandfather seen Orpheus before?
Yeah, he was the grandson. He was his grandson.
Orpheus is his grandson.
No, he is Orpheus' grandson.
How did the grandfather know it was Orpheus if that was his great uncle? Marcus's great uncle.
Yeah, his grandfather.
So that would have been his grandfather's uncle.
No, his grandfather's his grandfather's grandfather. That's two greats.
That would be Marcus's great grandfather. This said uncle. So they have to be like...
Are they brothers?
Removed there. Grandfather is one.
Right.
Great is two. So I'm thinking it was the grandfather's father's brother.
Is the grandfather a seer and Orpheus was his mentor, maybe?
No, because they said they were family. He's a great uncle to Marcus.
I understand that, but I'm saying like they're in the same family line.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out like has the grandfather seen Orpheus before to know who he is to call out his name and question?
Probably when he was a kid or when he was younger.
Right.
Because he's
So
old.
I'm just questioning how the relation is there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're a part of the same family.
Is it his mother's side? Is it his grandfather's side? I have no idea.
The grandfather.
We only have first names here.
Right. The grandfather is the mother's dad.
Right.
So it's the mom's side.
So that's through the mother's side on Marcus. So
yes.
It doesn't really just pass down to the guy.
True, unless it skipped her because she is a girl.
She's a girl.
But we still don't know
the bloodline.
We still don't know the Seth connection. Seth could be her brother. And he could be the one who carried it, her older brother.
I want Tiana to explain Seth's relationship.
Yeah, somebody needs to tell us
She was saying, like, I'll explain later.
Yeah, like a death in the family, like all this stuff. Like, obviously Seth is a part of this family. How?
I need to know.
I'm so confused. And like you said, Seth's older. He's an older guy. Is he the grandfather's brother?
That's what I'm thinking.
Was it Helena's uncle?
It would have had to have been something.
Yeah.
Because Walter, I think that's the other son.
Oh, wait.
Helena's brother.
Okay. Yeah.
He seems fairly normal.
Yeah, like nothing with him. But what if one seer has to die for there to be another one in the same bloodline?
That's a good...
Because this didn't happen, and there was no, like, he needs to go and see my family until Seth died.
Right. I think that could be a very likely possibility. Because it seems like it would, because I'm giving you the power. You have to sleep to become the seer. So he was already dreaming.
Right.
But this is like the full-blown.
Yeah. It's like the power's not fully explained, so we don't have a full explanation of how it's passed down, how you learn it. Mm-hmm. Is it in your family line? Does it follow men only? Can women be seers? Like, we don't know any of this.
Right. Because with Orpheus, I think that was like the beginning prologue chapter.
Yeah. In the very, very beginning.
But like, it says like he killed all his family. Like his dad, his mom, his sister.
Yeah.
So I'm questioning how the bloodline. Because did he actually die? Because it said he was in like a tomb, alive, but like not alive.
I don't know. I think it's going to be explained.
This would make sense.
Yeah. He's at the family home. He's in the family home in the tomb waiting for the sacrifice.
Yes. I see it. It makes sense.
What did you think of the way he described, or what do you think of the way she described Marcus after the transformation? With the white hair and the skin carved with deep black scars crawling from his forehead to his ankles, and his eyes burned unnaturally.
I was trying to picture the scars.
Yeah.
And all I'm getting was like the last Airbender, like Avatar, the last Airbender. Like the tattoos, but
I kind of imagined
I need to know a correct way to picture this.
Yeah.
Because like head to ankles is a very vague description, and I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, she was explaining to me that she was trying to get an AI image to put in here, but nothing was coming out right.
Are they like veins? Like the venin?
Maybe. I kind of imagine
do they like stem down from like
it says
the
from
eyes,
his forehead to his ankles. Yeah, it could be like coming out from where his white hair is.
They're deep black scars, but how many? What are they? Are they connected?
Do they
not?
Like twist and turn, or do they just
are they like roots? Because that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I kind of imagine it. Like what was described when he was like, it was taking root in him and like threading through his bones, but like a physical manifestation of that on the outside.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
And black scars, are they like bumpy? Are they more like tattoo looking?
I imagine they're probably like like a scar would be raised, and how you
like
can,
a vein.
Yeah, like you can kind of see it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I don't know if I like the white hair.
Will he stay?
But it could be pretty cool.
It could be. He's got now. He has main character energy with white hair.
I'm getting like Gojo vibes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Like Gojo
like an anime character
with the blue eyes.
Yeah,
The natural blue eyes.
yeah.
That's so Gojo.
So then the last thing.
Domain expansion.
Seer.
Okay.
So then the last thing is he says Orpheus, the figure who was his grandson, tilted his head, his breath curling into the cold air. He leaned close in a low voice, deepening with something ancient within him. The spider is no more.
Spider, like, enveloped in him. Like, he's no more. It's not a thing.
Yeah, they merged, and Marcus is all that's left.
Yeah.
That's
so creepy. Why'd they call him the spider again?
It's
Does
kind
it
of
explain that?
not really. Other than like Marcus's dream about the hand that like crawls like a spider.
Right.
That's it. That's the only other reference to a spider.
It looks like other people called him the spider.
Yeah, like that was his name.
Because Marcus has obviously had heard stories because he knew
the spider
who they were talking about.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely... This was a good chapter.
This was a great chapter. I told her.
I like this.
After I read this chapter, I was like, what have I just read? This was like this could have been a short story on its own, and I would have been equally as enthralled as I am having read 8 chapters of this character already.
Have you ever read those Scary Stories 1? They have those books, Scary Stories 2.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of a scary story.
Yep.
And it could have been called The Spider.
Yep.
That's like Me Tai Do
Yep.
Tai Walker.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Exactly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was really great.
Love it.
Are we ready for
that was so good.
Anime of the Week?
Anime of the week, here we go. Fierce battles, bright hearts steal the show. From the east to the west, it's a spark show shit. Get ready to die. Come to the anime of the week.
I have only watched Solo Leveling.
Yeah, don't worry about
Girl,
it.
I don't have time.
I'm behind on everything except for Solo Leveling because I was grinding on Marvel Rivals trying to get my 2 characters to Lord, and I did.
So let's just talk about
Solo Leveling. That's fine. There's a lot to unpack there.
This was a setup episode. I mean, there wasn't much going on.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Other than Jinwoo showing off his army and being like, yeah, fear me.
Yeah. I like that.
Yep.
And his mom waking up.
I know.
And him crying. I cried.
So emotional. I cried. Everyone was like, everyone was upset though.
Hey.
Like people didn't like the episode. They were all like, what is this? This is ridiculous. He would never be this way. And it's like, guys, did you forget the entire purpose of him being a hunter and leveling up was to get the ingredients to save his mother? That was the whole point.
They make me angry.
Yes. I'm like,
people don't lies. I saw that the whole time. And like it was like a weight lifted off him and he cried. And that was okay.
Yep. And we hear the first piece of information about his dad. And we see the picture of the family. And his mom's like, have you guys heard from your dad? And they're like, nope, haven't heard from him.
She talks so freely about him, too.
Yeah, so it's not like something bad happened. I'm just like, I wonder if he just went missing.
Mm-hmm.
Or if he did, if he was a player, was he doing the same thing that Jinwoo was, where he would like disappear for a week at a time working?
Well, didn't you say he got stuck somewhere?
Yeah, he got stuck in a gate. But I'm wondering if his family was used to him being gone for long periods of time because he was the player. And so him being gone, they were just kind of like, oh, that's kind of normal. And then it just turned into like, now he's been gone a really long time and we don't know what to do.
And the system decided to choose
Jinwoo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then you've got his mom goes into the sickness, so they were like distracted. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Hopefully they explain it.
Yeah.
But
it was 5 years, they said, right?
Yeah, it had been 5 years since they had seen the dad.
Yeah, but that made me happy, and I cried.
Yeah.
And then the setup for the fight, I like this.
I know. I'm excited.
The other S ranks, I'm excited to see them fight.
Yep.
Because we don't know the extent of their powers.
I sent you the trailer, but you didn't watch it.
I didn't want to watch it.
No, okay.
Because I don't watch trailers anymore because they give too much away in the trailers, and it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't watch any trailers.
I don't even watch the preview for the next episode. I'm like, nope, skip. I don't want to know.
Me neither.
But I came across it, and in what world have you ever seen an anime that has a trailer for the last 4 episodes? What? Like its own separate trailer, apart from the season trailer.
Yeah.
Like, what is about to go down?
That one video you sent me about how if it ends like this, we're flipping tables.
Where it's like, oh, you
don't deserve the cliffhanger. It's gonna end on a cliffhanger.
It's gonna end on the worst
solo leveling
cliffhanger. Yep, and it'll end too fast, and we'll all be sad.
And then we'll have to wait forever.
And we'll have to wait a whole year and a half.
I'm still waiting on Stranger Things. I don't think they're ever gonna drop the.
They filmed it. I don't know what's taking them so long.
California burned down.
Oh, true. Is it not? Does it not have a release date? Let me look.
I don't.
Is that season 5?
Anymore. It's been like 3 years. It's been 3 years. I don't even know what happened.
It's supposed to come out this year.
Yeah. What else? Are we doing anything else?
I think that's it. I think that's all we have for this week. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Liz.
And we are Tails and Tea.
Have a good night.